I'm a 28-year-old woman. My husband is 30 and I just got married. And like a lot of couples, we planned a honeymoon. But not just any honeymoon, this was something we dreamed of for years. We booked 2 full weeks in Italy, Rome, Florence, Venice, the Amalfi Coast. The whole deal. It was expensive, non-refundable, something we've saved for since before we were even engaged. Everything was set. Flights, hotels, tours, even cooking classes. We leave in just a few weeks. Now here's where the drama starts. My older brother, 32, got engaged recently. He and his fiancée had been dating for about a year. I was excited for them until they dropped a bombshell. They set their wedding date, and guess when? The exact same week as my honeymoon.comma. At first I thought, well, that sucks, but surely they wouldn't expect me to cancel. Oh, but they do. My brother called me and said, "You'll be there, right? You can just reschedule the honeymoon." I laughed, thinking he was joking. But he wasn't. He fully expected me and my husband to throw away thousands of dollars, call off our dream trip, and rebook everything just so I could be at his wedding. When I told him we couldn't do that, he absolutely lost it. He said I was being selfish, that family comes before vacations, and that he couldn't imagine getting married without me there. Then my mom got involved. She called me saying I was breaking the family apart and accused me of caring more about pasta and sightseeing than my own brother's wedding. She kept saying honeymoons can be rescheduled, weddings can't. But the thing is, this wedding can be rescheduled. They picked the date. They knew about my honeymoon. My whole family knew. And yet, they went ahead with this specific week anyway. My husband is furious. He said, "This is our honeymoon. It's not just a vacation. It's the start of our marriage. Why should we pay the price for their poor planning?" And I completely agree with him. Now the family is split. Some relatives think my brother is being entitled. Others think I'm the jerk for not being supportive. I've even gotten messages from cousins saying, "I'll regret this forever if I miss the wedding." So Reddit, am I really the asshole for refusing to cancel my honeymoon to go to my brother's wedding? Update post a week later. Wow, I didn't expect this much drama. But since a lot of people asked, here's an update. After I told my brother and mom no for the final time, my brother tried to guilt trip me. He said if I didn't come, he wouldn't consider me his sister anymore. That hurt, but I stuck to my decision. My mom doubled down too. She actually called my husband directly and begged him to be the bigger man and convinced me to cancel. My husband told her flat out, "This is our honeymoon. It's not happening." But here's the twist. A bunch of my other relatives, including my dad, quietly reached out to me to say they understood. My dad actually told me, "You did the right thing. Your brother created this mess, not you." Apparently the wedding itself was chaotic. Guests complained about the rushed planning, and even the bride's parents were upset that it was thrown together so fast. From what I heard, people are starting to realize this wasn't really about me ruining the family. It was about my brother trying to control everything. So in the end, I don't regret a thing. My husband and I had the trip of a lifetime, and honestly, it showed me how important it is to set boundaries. If my brother never forgives me, well, that's on him. Top comment, not the asshole. They knew your plans and still chose that week. That's not an accident. That's manipulation. Comment 2. Everyone sucks here. Your brother for picking the date. But you could have tried to compromise with at least attending part of the wedding. Still, I get why you didn't. Comment 3. Non-refundable honeymoon versus a wedding that was planned last minute. Yeah. No, your brother sounds entitled. Comment 4. Unpopular opinion. You're the asshole. Family weddings are once in a lifetime. Italy will still be there. I'd never miss my sibling's wedding. Comment 5. Funny how your brother said you'd regret it forever. Sounds like he'll regret pushing you away instead. Good for you for setting boundaries.
When people ask me about my childhood, I usually keep it simple. It was fine. But the truth is, it wasn't. My father was a man of few words, and when he did speak, those words usually carried the weight of disappointment. He wasn't abusive, not in the way people imagine when they hear that word. But he was cold, detached, like life was a responsibility to be endured, not something to be shared. When I was little, I'd bring home drawings from school, colorful messes that I thought were masterpieces. My mom would smile, hang them on the fridge, and kiss me on the forehead. My dad, he'd glance at them, grunt, and go back to his newspaper. I can't remember a single time he said, "I'm proud of you." As I got older, I tried harder. Sports, academics, even music. Every achievement, I hoped, would unlock some hidden warmth in him. But nothing worked. It was like chasing a shadow. You can see it, but you'll never touch it. By the time I was a teenager, I stopped trying. I built walls. We argued more than we spoke. The silence in our house became louder than words. And when I finally left for college, I made a promise to myself. I would never come back. For years, I kept that promise. Until the phone rang one gray morning. It was my mother. Her voice cracked as she said the words I never expected to hear. "It's your father. He's sick. It's cancer. He doesn't have much time left." My first instinct was anger. Why should I go back? Why should I care now, after a lifetime of being invisible to him? But something in her voice, maybe desperation, maybe hope, made me pack a bag and drive home. The house looked smaller than I remembered. The paint was peeling, the shutters sagging, the yard overgrown. But stepping inside was like walking into a time capsule. The same worn furniture, the same faint smell of coffee and old books, and the same heavy silence. When I finally walked into his room, I barely recognized him. The strong, intimidating figure of my childhood was gone. Lying in that bed was a fragile man, his face sunken, his skin pale, his breathing shallow. For a moment, I felt nothing. No anger, no joy, just emptiness. He looked at me and whispered, "Thanks for coming." That was it. No apology, no explanation, just those 3 words. The days blurred together. I helped my mother take care of him, giving him medicine, adjusting his blankets, sitting with him through long stretches of silence. We spoke only when necessary. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but the words never came. Then, one morning, I walked into the kitchen and saw an envelope on the table. My name was written across it in his shaky handwriting. I stared at it for a long time before I opened it. Inside was a letter several pages long. And then came the line that shattered every wall I had built. "I am proud of you, son," even if I never said it. By the time I reached the end, tears blurred the ink. My hands shook as I held those pages, as if they were the only proof that he had ever seen me, ever cared. That night, I sat by his bed. He was weak, his eyes half closed, his breathing shallow. I pulled out the letter and began to read it to him, every single word. My voice cracked, tears streaming down my face, but I kept going. When I finished, I took his hand in mine. For the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid to reach for him. His fingers, frail and trembling, squeezed mine just barely, but enough. Enough to tell me he heard me. Enough to tell me it mattered. He passed away the next morning. At the funeral, I stood at the front of the church, staring out at the faces of people who thought they knew him. And I realized something. They would never know him the way. I did. Not the stern man, not the silent father, not the broken soul who finally found the courage to say what he couldn't in life. So I told them about the letter. I read parts of it out loud, letting his words echo through the room. And for the first time, I felt like he was there with me, not as the cold, distant father of my childhood, but as the man he had always wanted to be. That letter didn't erase the years of silence. It didn't heal every wound, but it gave me something I had waited my whole life for: closure. I walked away from the funeral with the letter folded in my pocket, close to my heart, because in those pages, I finally found my father. And even though it came too late, it was enough.